We're back again then, guys, and we've gone international today with Empower Online because we're talking to Takashi Uchino, who is in LA at the moment. He runs an amazing gym in Japan, in Osaka. We were just chatting about that. And he's currently in LA being on the Inosanto instructor course. And he's staying there about a month, I think, is what you said, and then heading back off to Japan. So we're going to dive deep into Takashi-san's kind of background in martial arts, why he started training, his founding of the Rhythmic Box Gym, or the Rhythmic Box kind of method of combat, I suppose, and like how you do that. He's a full instructor in JK and Kali under Guru Dan and Guru Rick Faye as well. He's currently doing his own YouTube project too, called the 64 Dream Project. And he's also, as I said, runs his own gym called the TSD Kali Gym. So, Takashi, thank you so much for coming on, and it's a pleasure to have you on all the way from sunny LA, I'm sure.
Thank you very much for having me here.
You are
And
more than
pleasure
welcome.
to be here. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. I want to start talking about community in martial arts because this is something that you really promote. I asked people to send a bio about what they've done. If I don't, obviously, if we haven't talked before, and community really came through in the bio that you sent me, and how important it is to you. And obviously, that comes through under Guru Dan, and that obviously hugely comes through under Guru Rick Faye with the MKG stuff because I think that's one of the best examples of forming community through martial arts. So, how do you think martial arts brings communities together, and why do you think it's such an important kind of vessel for doing that?
Well, I think martial art is a bit different from other sports because all we learned is how to destroy people's body.
Yeah,
But at the same time, when you make it in an art form, it we our attention goes towards the life force. All suddenly it's about living. So it's really dealing with the humans, very much a fundamental issue. And to me, it's hard to explain, but I think it has a lot to do with life itself. It's
hmm
a living force I generate by teaching martial arts to Japanese people, um, because they know it's going to harm people,
sure.
but it's so cool, and then they learn to respect. They learn to not to hurt people,
Yeah,
going opposite direction towards love
yeah,
rather than destruction. That's the beauty part and attractive part about martial arts, and a lot of people are attracted to it.
100%. And is that what first attracted you to the martial arts? However many years ago that was.
It wasn't that beautiful, but it was just because I wanted to be strong, and I don't want to be weak. That was my motive. So to
Okay.
start when I was young.
And what martial art did you start in?
I started with karate,
hmm
goju-ryu,
Okay.
and then I quit almost a couple months, and then I started Shorinji Kempo,
Yep.
and yeah, and then I did a little bit of Kyokushin Kaikan, and then Kali.
Perfect. Yeah. And what was it initially then that attracted you to the Kali slash JKD?
Well, I was doing Shorinji Kempo, and I have a friend who told me that there is one place where it's called Kali, Minnesota Kali Group, Rick Faye,
Yeah.
who teaches very interesting martial arts, and that was the beginning of it. And when I went there and experienced it, I just, you know, quickly fell in love with it and just joined it, and here we go.
So
It's been 40 years. Yeah.
were you living in Japan at this point?
No, no. I was in the United States going to the University of Minnesota.
Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. So
Mm,
obviously then you heard about the MKG, went and saw
right.
Guru Rick, and then the rest is history, as you say, 40 years later. And was it kind of love at first sight? Was the weaponry that attracted you? Was it the empty hand more so? Was it the general feel? Or a little bit of
My my well, I think first of all, empty hand
yeah.
is my first thing that I was attracted, and then the sticks,
Yeah.
like yeah. So the first is empty hand, and then later on, I understood why this weaponry really develops the motion of hands and body motion very much, and then I got into it very much.
Perfect. And how did you find that transition from doing other martial arts, then going into kind of the stick work, into the empty hand, into the Panatukan, into the JKD, into the Thai boxing that obviously they do all at the MKG? Was it an easy transition to going from those martial arts, or was it a bit of a rethink of the brain?
Well, I perceived each martial arts, Kali or the Jeet Kune Do, everything is as a individual itemized martial arts,
Okay.
rather than, Guru's beauty part of it is to connect them all and seamlessly.
Yeah.
And it's a when I start seeing that, then I started really seeking a lot of areas, and boy, here we go. It's been 40 years,
Yeah.
so
Amazing. Cool. And then so now,
amazing.
yeah. So you established the TSD Kali Gym. Is this
Hmm.
in Japan?
In Japan,
Yeah.
yes.
And how did this come about then? How did taking JKD and Kali? Was there any JKD and Kali in Japan at that point, or were you one of the
I,
ones that kind of brought it forward?
in those days, I mean,
Mm.
the 40, I mean, 35, 40 years ago, it was just me and maybe very one or two others, I think, whom I don't know.
Okay, a
So
couple of students. And how did you find that process then of kind of taking it over and teaching what you knew, and then building up a student base? Because now you've got thousands of students. Is that correct?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
sir. Um, I started with just those people who are interested in it, and started with a small group, and pretty soon the word of mouth just started spreading all over, and here I am. Yeah,
And were you just doing it out of a gym hall at this point, or a community center, or a proper go?
community center first. Community center first.
Perfect, good. And then you kind of focused on the empty hand, you focused on the sticks, you focused on, the weapon. So you put everything together at that point, or did you have a
Right.
particular?
Basically, Jeet Kune Do and Kali is those are the two main things. And later on, I was much into boxing, but that was way later.
Okay, perfect, yeah. And why did you focus on the JKD and Kali to begin with, do you think?
Because I really liked it. The
Okay,
notion
yeah.
about it is really liked it. Yeah, because there's something nothing like that in Japan. So
Yeah, so it's obviously a unique selling point and you kind of found your niche in it. So yeah. And then now,
yes,
as you say, 35, 40 years later, you're going strong and you're doing amazing things, obviously, in Japan. Yeah, this is very cool. So how was it training with Guru Rick the first time then? Training over in Minnesota. Yeah.
I mean we had a really we started from his backyard, house backyard,
Hmm.
and there is a garage only one car can fit in,
Okay.
so only a few people can get in there.
Sure.
So we have to really do it outside, and but only maybe 4 or 5 people were there, and we just well, Greg was there. Greg Nelson was there.
Sure.
Brand Seaman, Greg Nelson, and we just had a great time. We are doing is about basic 6 count
Yeah.
and Senawali, um, yeah, stuff like that. It's nothing really like we do now.
Hmm.
We were having just a great time doing this, and we were just keep saying, "Wow, wow, this is great," and then realize we spent about 2 hours of doing that. So it, it
What was it then that you kind of found so inspiring about just doing that basic sit count? Because I'm not sure now if we taught sits counts for however long in our academies, or whatever, how long our students would keep engaged with it, or but
right.
as you say, you guys were doing it for hours and hours and hours. So what was it that was the initial
Right.
one, two, three, four?
Wow, that's good. Yeah, that's a good question because in Japan we have just one shot at a time and a completion
Sure.
at each motion, right? But in the Kali is a loop
Yeah.
of 3 counts here and the 3 counts here. It just made me feel so good that it's endless and it can just by doing many loops, of 6 counts, then it could be high, low, high, low.
Yeah.
It can be anything but doing the same thing in back, inward, backhand, inward, backhand,
Sure.
right? Um, but that really gave me another perspective of martial arts, which I used to think that it's one punch ends and it finished, and
Sure.
one block finished.
Yeah.
But that really broke my um, what do you call it, prejudice, or just a set way of looking at the
Yeah.
martial
Your
arts should
mindset.
be that way. Yeah, my mindset has been just broken and just opened up a new door and start seeing new values in martial arts. And that was a big thing, for me.
Amazing, yeah. And were you looking then when you started? Were you looking at the combat aspect of it? Did you want the self protection side of it, or are you more looking at the cognitive side, the movement side, the kind of beauty of the art? I suppose, like the art side rather than the martial, or was it a bit of a mixture of both?
All of it, though. Actually, I would have to. The more I start practicing heavily, I started really. I can be applicable to many, many, many different areas.
Hmm.
Rather than just a cross training to other sport or other martial arts, but it could be like communication uh, tool, or maybe business area,
Yeah.
or maybe even golf. Golf and Kali goes really well.
Yeah. So, can you expand on that a little bit in terms of how you think it all interconnects, and as you say, the business side of it, the other sports, things like that. Obviously, Guru Dan was, a football coach for many, many years. Guru Rick
Right.
had his time in the football pitch as well. So, obviously, there's kind of a body mechanical thing there, I suppose, in terms of the Kali, the JKD, etc. But you mentioned there like golf, you mentioned business, and how it all interlinks and connects. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think business-wise, I think the problem solving in that area, I think this practicing this Kali and Inosana system,
Yeah.
because he has a 34 systems of Kali
Yeah.
and blended into one, and really beautifully organized and structured in such a way that we can be so creative and we can be innovative as well.
Yeah.
And that really, if we can do that with the body motion, it can be really applied. I can apply to other field, like business is a really, really good field for me to use that concept, and then start really getting more people. That's why I came up with the idea of rhythmic boxing. Um, that was huge for me. Yes,
Yeah, so
it's a
can you talk
big,
me through the development of that? Because that's obviously kind of something that's quite innovative and something that you've
yeah.
kind of put your mark on. So can you explain the concept of rhythmic boxing and then kind of how it expanded in terms of what you do now and how the initial idea took seed, I suppose?
Right. I had I could do traps, and I can do 6 counts, can do a lot of motion. But when I started bring it over to Japan in Osaka first, and I brought it to the center of Osaka, where a lot of people around, but I had only 8 people, and but spending a lot of money on rent and everything.
Sure.
But the people knew that that was kind of interesting motion to see, but not to do.
Okay.
And they didn't really, they get so bored because they didn't understand, they couldn't even do a 6 count. Those days, it took me a week to 1 month to do the 6 count to
Sure.
teach.
Yeah.
So I decided to, wow, this is Japanese mentality. It's so hard to grasp the idea of this Kali concept. So I decided to uh, just to make a rhythmic boxing, and so that everybody has a good time and sweat
Yeah.
and do the same motion all the time. But in the boxing, but I put all the Kali motion in it and Jeet
Okay.
Kune Do motion into the form of boxing.
Yeah.
So I just simplified it and made it step by step, and all the motion come from walking, and
Okay.
walking motion, and develops the punches and elbows and headbutt and everything. So I put it for choreograph motion,
Hmm.
and also I added one value added thing, which is to lose weight.
Yeah.
And then, oh boy, a lot of ladies started coming over,
Sure.
and they loved it. Or you wouldn't believe how many people, boy, oh, a lot of people wanted to do it. Then once they lost the weight, they started really paying more attention to the art form of motion,
Okay.
practical motion,
Yeah.
and then they get into real martial arts. So I just made it just a very, very first, the second step
Yeah, it's a stepping stone to get
for
into the combat side of it.
right non-martial arts people to get interested in martial arts. That was a Rhythbox. So
Perfect. Yeah, cool. Because obviously similar stuff's kind of been done before with boxercise and like gym classes that involve knees, punches, kicks, elbows, etc. So what do you think separates kind of the rhythmic boxing and the boxercise? Are they similar? Are they different? Is there, some kind of correlation there?
It is very much a functional motion. You know, it has to
Yeah.
work. It's just not the martial arts like motion, but it is functionally makes sense.
Yeah.
That means they can do the things, you know. And that's something I really paid attention to. Exercise wise, it just moves and they just have a good time.
Yeah.
Martial arts like motion
Yeah.
to get exercise done, which is, you know, which I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure that everything I do with the rhythm has to reach to the level where you can use it.
Mm.
And that was a major difference, I think.
Perfect.
It took me a long time to make it.
I was going to say, like, yeah, what was the development process like that? Because I'd imagine there's lots of trying it, testing it,
Well,
tweaking it, going back a
yeah,
few
yeah.
steps, and yeah.
I went to the world champion boxer. He's my friend,
Okay.
and he taught me the boxing and the sparring. A lot of times I got knocked out, and he was so good.
Yeah.
And I learned how the mechanics and the structure of the boxing, and I put all the Kali motion into the basic only hand motion principles, and and structured it in such a way that they could be looping
Mm-hmm.
exercise form
Yeah.
so that ladies and guys won't get bored with it.
Sure.
And but the motion should be so cool, looks so cool, and it has to make sense to them.
Yeah.
And that took me a long time. And
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
so the research is it really it was a long time process. But
How long do you
that
think it took
process,
from kind of start to, I won't even say finish because I'm sure you're still tweaking things now, but from start to rolling it out, I suppose, and seeing it get some traction and becoming a
for
thing.
first 2 years, 2 years, it was like a research time.
Yeah.
It, only about a couple of hundred people just join in and stuff like that, right? Now, after that, it just boom, and there is one TV news to pick it up, and all Japanese Osakan ladies, girls, started doing some hand wrapping in the subways and stuff. You
Right.
know, that was in the news, and so that kind of thing started picking up, and that was a huge promotion. And I was just interviewed by TV companies like almost every week. And so, uh,
Explodes.
whoa, that was explosive. Like at the max time with 330 people joining us per month,
Wow.
and it just was it was packed. And so I moved to a bigger place.
Mm. And what was it? Had you taught before doing this? So had you taught martial arts for a while doing this, or was it kind of a step and a jump into the unknown? I suppose.
Mm, well, I wouldn't say it's I came up with it. I have to say when I had a in 1986 or something, I had a Guru Dan Inosanto in Japan,
Okay.
and he used the conga
Yeah.
to run the class, you know, and that was a big hint for me.
Mm.
Wow, they use rhythm to have students move, and so that had me just keep it in my mind for many years, long
Sure.
time, and then I decided to do it, and it wasn't easy, but I think it was a lot of fun,
Yeah. Yeah.
and a lot of people liked it. So
Mm. Amazing. And what was the process like for you then as an instructor going from seeing it expand so quickly? Like, did you have to shift your processes, shift your teaching style, shift the way you were doing things in terms of how it ran and operated? Or, was that a planned thing or do you just kind of go with the flow, I suppose?
mm, well, I think it's really my motivation to go that direction was coming from a financial situation, because
Mhm.
the rent was so high and I was only having eight members and stuff. Oh boy, how long am I going to last my business? Is very, very easy to imagine. So I had to come up with something, and I have to just change my mind. Now I was doing Simbrata, I was doing the Hubar with Rick,
Yeah.
and then Rick has a lot of ways to express the one, the Hubar and Kali. Uh, then after that, I started looking at the Kali, the meaning of Kali, like a Ka is Kamot and Li Lihok, and it's a body motion.
Hmm.
It's not a martial art.
Yeah.
literally meaning, right? So, okay, it's a body motion then. And then and also, why are we doing? We don't want to kill people by this, you
Mhm.
know. What's the benefit that we can come up with out of this in just to get the good fighter or something, or what, you know? And I shift the target to the women,
Yeah.
those who want to lose weight,
Yeah.
want to become beautiful and strong.
Hmm.
And I think in those days, ladies never liked the boxing gym
Sure.
because it was kind of stinky and hurt and
Yeah.
very, very scary, right? But they always had the subconsciously, they always wanted to do it. So I just presented it that you don't have to pair up.
Sure.
It has nice gloves and a clean shower room, everything all set, and with music.
Yeah.
And that really hit it, and that really hit the market
Yeah.
and created the actually market. And I put a lot of martial arts skills into it and teaching skills. I switched it to rhythmic way
Yeah.
instead of just I do that and do that, and I do demo and stuff. And I just constantly 1 hour, 60 minutes, constantly moved with the music,
Yeah.
and I expressed with the rhythm, always rhythm. And well, people just seem to like it,
Seems
and
to love it.
yeah, a lot of people liked it, and that was my teaching revolution. um, I don't have to do, I don't have to train, I don't have to make a champion,
Yeah.
um, or straight fighters to be good,
Yeah.
but I can find the value out of martial arts. Many other people, non-martial arts, can kind of appreciate it.
Yeah. 100%.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
that was financial things that I was kind of really under a lot of pressure.
Sure.
I had to come up with something,
Yeah.
and that really helped me out. And I started going to boxing gym and start training.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well,
so
diamonds form under pressure, so I think that's a perfect example of that, isn't it? Like you had to do something, and then boof, look how it's expanded, and now you know what incredible thing it is that you're doing. Um, let's talk about Guru Dan then, because obviously you've seen Guru. You've been on his instructor camp last week. You've been training with him, I'd imagine, for 35, 40 years. The same with Guru Rick. What was it initially that brought you into seeing Guru Dan? Was it through Guru Rick that you wanted to go and meet Guru Dan? And then what was your first impression of training with Guru like?
1980, it was in 1984 that Rick Faye had a Guru Dance seminar in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I met uh, a Guru Dan. And before that, I was training under Rick Faye.
Mm-hmm.
And right, so that was the first time, that 1984, I think. It was only about 5 or 6 people attended the seminar. That was the
Really?
first time. Yeah, it wasn't that, not now, it was in
Yeah, sure.
1984.
Wow, what an amazing experience then, is having that kind of personal, almost one-to-one tuition from Guru.
Yeah, it was Greg was there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and
no, maybe 1986, 1986. That's what the time is, right?
1986, and then you've continued to see Guru what, every year, every 2 years, every 3 years.
Yeah, it's because I was much into, after that, I opened up the gym, and then I came up with the Rhythbox. So I was putting a lot of effort in the Rhythbox.
Yeah,
So I was much away from Los Angeles because I was having Rick Faye for seminar, Guru 2 times in Japan.
yeah,
So I didn't have much time to train, and because it was once in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and stuff, right?
sure.
So basically, I have to do my own things. I can't really, uh, I can't remember everything, So I made Rhythbox, so it's a loop,
Yeah,
do the basic things, So that really helped me out great deal.
yeah, I can imagine.
And
And how was it received then? Obviously, it was received really well eventually. Was there any kind of sticking points to forming it? Because you think of Japan, you think of traditional martial arts, you think of jiu-jitsu, you think of karate, um, but then you kind of brought something different in, as you say. It isn't that stop, one hit. It's more of the
mm,
flow, the loop, the continuation. Was there any kind
mm.
of pushback against that in terms of the tradition, or were people generally pretty like, yeah, cool, let's give it a go, and I'm up for this?
On the Rick Faye was really a great teacher because normally in Japanese instructors or masters, they would say no to the student who be coming up with like a dancing methods or rhythmic boxing like that. They would say, "Oh, you not it's not it doesn't has nothing to do with us in our style."
Yeah.
They'll put me down, of course, but he told me, he said, "Takash, this is great. You are doing actually this is Jeet Kune Do. I mean, you have researching some different field which
Hmm.
nobody has done it, and I would be looking forward to seeing what you can come up with this one." And that really gave me great ease to just oh really thank you, Rick. And he helped me out a great deal. And but in Japan, when I start doing that, a lot of people told me that well he's I was told like I was mm, like a dancing,
Mm. Yeah.
or it's not a martial arts. It's a fake,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I've been told. So I was a little upset by hearing some of the people saying that. I said, okay, then let's fight. I will promote the fight tournament.
Okay.
So I have 15 people fighters, and you have 15 fighters. Anybody could challenge it, and we started doing that. But I ended up doing the 15 times of this tournament because it went really well. So
Okay.
we started doing that. So our kids never really fought, by the way,
Yeah.
you know, but they really did a good job against the martial artists, and of course
Yeah.
amateur
Yeah. Of
level,
course. Yeah. What was it? Was
yeah,
it
amateur level.
kickboxing? Was it?
Yeah, yeah, just the kickboxing
Yeah.
rules, kickboxing rule,
Yeah.
nothing like MMA stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But that really gave me those old gym owners just gave me a bad look by just saying, "Oh, you were just dancing. It's not martial arts." So they challenged us, and we did a good fight, good tournament. And we were winning also as well as they're winning.
Yeah.
So they started giving me a little respect. Oh,
Yeah.
it's not just to dancing; it can be applicable to the martial art fighters.
Sure.
And so then they never bothered me after that. After
Yeah. You
four or
kind of
five
proven
years.
what you needed to prove, and then move on and just build your thing.
Yeah, I had to do that though. I really had to do it to um what do you say for the people who are doing that loves the Rhythbox.
Yeah.
I needed to do it to prove it. And so after I proved it, and I made a ISK amateur a world champion in a Sydney casino,
Yeah.
K1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the almost the end. So I do not want to go any more of a tournament
Sure.
or promoting fighters and those who want to just have me train them, and I ask them to go to the professional gyms, and it's much better than in my place. So you, so I introduce them, good gyms and stuff. Those who want to stay here in self development
Yeah.
uh, or fitness purpose, they all stayed.
Yeah. Perfect. What do you think then, as an instructor with, thousands of students, what do you think are some of the most important qualities that someone should have if they want to be successful in the martial arts and also successful in terms of the business side? So it's kind of a two-sided question, I suppose. It's one, what do you need to be a good coach? And then secondly, what do you need to be the good businessman as well?
Mm. Integrity and be honest, and also you have to match with what I say. If I well, doesn't mean I have to be a good fighter to teach a good fighter. By the way,
Sure.
it doesn't mean that. But I think it's martial arts is a physical part when in the 20s, 30s, and so they gradually it becomes a development things.
Yes.
The guy is going to start working, and then having a family and build a house and so on, right?
Yeah.
So it goes towards more of uh, uh, mentally or spiritually. Uh, we have to uh, be well trained at the same time to train them in spiritually and mentally as well as the physical part. So it becomes like a Rick is also we talk about that, and the guru always talk about that
Yeah.
a lot. And like a Kali is highly biblical
Hmm.
because it's a Spanish invasion,
Yeah.
and the Christianity came. And I really like that because it has so strong spiritual uh, structure background, and I like it because the Japanese always like there are three kinds of martial arts, but whereas you say martial arts, but in Japan, Budo, Bujutsu, Kakutogi,
Sure.
three different ways of express martial arts. Budo is a martial arts that goes towards the organization, like a styles. I
Okay.
have a Shorin-ryu style. And Kakutogi has a tendency to go towards the tournament, the fighting spirit, like K1,
Yeah.
UFC, and so on, right? Which nothing wrong with it. And Bujutsu goes to the individual self-development. And that's what I think Kali and Guru's teachings is that Bujutsu,
Hmm.
that's a self-development and discovery process. Um, that's the area Japanese people either going towards organization or tournament
Yeah.
or fight.
Yeah.
But individualized training method is
Mm.
very rare, except the Guru Dan Inosanto system. And Rick told me is perfectly, it's for individual development and discovery. And this is the area where Japanese people are waking up and try to individual a little bit more rather than group and stuff
Mm.
like that. So I think this is going to go really well. Now I'm with box. It's a group exercise,
Yeah.
but this one, Jikundo Kali Inusana system, is more of an individualized development training program
Sure.
and very, very highly well structured
Yeah.
and so amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. What's the structure of your gym then? So TSD Kali Gym. When was that founded? How was it founded? How did you find that process? And then what's the structure now? Are you teaching the JKD and the Kali separately to the Rhythbox? Is it kind of a thing that's merged together? How does it work for you?
Um, TSA Kali is founded in 1989,
Okay.
and when I was in 20, I'm now 64, and because JKD Kali and learning, I was seeking out who I am, and I couldn't really find out who I am, So I decided to name TSD Total Self Discovery
Nice.
is a TSD is meaning right, and also or it's a total self development.
Yeah.
So. Uh, that was the 1989. But that doesn't mean totally I know who I am. I didn't know. I was my own research,
Sure.
and I just named the gym that way. Um, but I again, when you deal with the business, you have to pay the rent, you have to pay the staffs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. The thing that I enjoy the art, I have to I had to make money
Yeah.
to pay. So that's a different skills, by the way, completely different skills.
Yeah.
And I was working for a company called the Toro Company. It's a lawnmower business and sprinklers and stuff like.
Okay.
I was I was in charge of Japan, and they taught me a very good business, and so I needed to do better so that I can keep doing. And I turned my what I like to do the most into my occupation, my work,
Sure.
my job, right? If I was doing in the hobby wise, that has no problem. But when I turn it into my business, then that's a whole different ball game. I needed to
Sure.
learn everything from the beginning again. I'm sorry if I answered your question, but
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
if I'm not,
Did you enjoy that
could you read?
process of learning
No,
and going back? No. No.
no. I was mostly worried about
Okay.
where am I going to be okay?
Yeah. A bit of anxiety.
Can I pay that? Pay? Can I pay the rent next month or stuff like that? So I began not to enjoy the art itself anymore,
Hmm.
because that's the reason why I'm suffering.
Yeah. The pressure.
So yeah, pressure, right? So, but it's a s- if I worry so much, but it doesn't help anyway, you know. And so I decided to go to boxing gym and I started making red box. And I said to myself, well, if I'm going to be finished, and it's me. God said that it's me.
Yeah.
I'm meant to be finished.
Yeah.
But Rick said one time, "Hey, Takash, remember you and me and Greg and a bunch of other starter boys, you know, all we did the six can had a great time.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, I did nothing, by the way. I had a great time with you guys, nice sweat, a great smile, and that's everyday process and then, rest." And he said, God take care of it. I didn't do nothing,
Hmm.
but purely genuine feeling of enjoying the art and paying respect to the art and the other people
Yeah.
will be guided by God and take you to a certain success level, is what he told me one time. And also he said it in my YouTube as well.
Yeah.
It is so true. Once I started throwing all the worrisome and anxiety away, set it aside, let go, and I focused on how much fun I can have.
Sure.
And, you know, and then for that 1 hour when I was teaching, there's no financial
Yeah.
things that I had to worry about. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But once I stop it and then pay attention, that there is a big problem, right?
Mm.
Actually, I need to pay. So, but I think it comes from inside. You purely enjoy. You're honestly enjoying what you're doing, no matter what.
Sure.
You know, and that prevails. That wins,
Mm.
no matter what. You just keep doing it and just don't stop training and just keep doing it, and let go and let God. Is I think after 40 years of what I'm doing
Yeah. Yeah.
is a basic simple formula for me
Perfect.
for success. Don't
Yeah.
don't too much calculate too much.
Just
Yeah.
don't overthink it and just strip it back to its basic and find the joy in it.
Yeah. Greg also said the same thing in my YouTube. He says it's a passion.
Yeah.
It's a passion that really made me alive, getting over two cancers,
Yeah. Sure.
and that was something. It was a very powerful comment that he gave me.
Yeah. I'm sure.
To him, he's a passion towards the art, and it pretty much same thing.
Yeah.
And you have to be honest with that.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned there then the YouTube channel that you've started, which is the 64 Dream Project. What's the idea then of the 64 Dream Project? What was it inception? Why did you start it? And what's the concept of it?
Well, I was, I have very lucky that I live here and I can past a couple of years I can spend a lot of time with the guru Dan Inosanto. Uh, you know, that has never done it before. Then I realized how wonderful this art is and how wonderful he is as a person, humankind. I mean, I just love him. He's just such a loving person, and what he has made is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a it's a it's good for people.
Yeah.
It's nothing like this, to me. So this 64 project, um, this is not meant to get a lot of subscribers, you say.
Yeah.
This is for those people who understand this. It's okay. So I'm going to introduce Japanese people who Rick is, Greg is, whoever. I'm going to invite them to be there to talk about how wonderful this sound system is
Mm-hmm.
and how it can be applicable to their own lives to be creative
Yeah.
to make their own lives much better. Which yeah, I could do without this. I wouldn't be here, by the way. So I want to really not me talking, but have the people like Rick Faye and a lot of other people, non-martial artists. That's my golf teacher is a U.S. Open champion.
Okay.
His name is Larry Nelson. He will be on it in the future. And the boxer, world champion that
Yeah.
he trained me well.
Hmm.
And would like to share this 64. I'm 64 years old. That's why 64
Ah,
people.
okay. That was my next
64
question. Yeah.
64 people who have done something or who will be doing from now on, has a lot of passion like Greg used to be,
Yeah.
and now he does too. I want to, you know, interview them and have a nice conversation and introduce those people uh, to Japanese people, maybe as well as other people
Sure.
too. But that's what I want to do for 64 project. And because it's this is Guru Inosanto is not many people know in Japan, but I think I want to I want Japanese people to know what he has done for us,
Yeah.
and that's the very very important mission for me for 64 project.
For sure. Yeah.
And the first one, of course, will be Rick Faye.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Second one is a Greg Nelson,
Well, the Rick Faye
and
one's
after
up now,
that
isn't
is
it? Yeah. And then, as you say, Greg Nelson, Coach Greg Nelson after that. And then, yeah, I'm sure many
uh,
amazing other 62 other amazing, individuals.
64, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
two already. Perfect.
Yeah.
What's your focus then in training at the moment? And has it changed from when you first began? Obviously, it's 40 years ago, so priorities change, health changes, abilities change, etc. And just in general, the focus changes, as you've kind of alluded to already.
My focus of training is to um, Guru's class is very set and doing a lot of not instead of doing many different things, is he has a set of things and have us do over and over and again, and which I was very surprised that wow. I mean, I thought I could do it,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't. At his level, oh man, I was saying wow. Simple seven count with Silat. I said, wow.
Yeah, there's always another
At
layer.
his through his yeah, another level, right? So I I s- I just keep repetition. Let's say I used to do 20 times,
Yeah,
but I would make it 200, 2,000, and I stick to it.
yeah,
And the guru told me one time, he goes, well, if you don't need all of these, you only know a few, but make sure you dig into it, and then you will find the other answers by yourself.
sure.
That's the beauty part of our art, which is very true. So I'm going to do that. But at the same time, I started doing jujitsu just recently. You'd be surprised. I didn't even touch the ground techniques too much because of Greg.
Yeah, yeah,
Was a yeah, beautiful wrestler, and he chewed me up a lot of times. So I procrastinated the last moment.
yeah.
But recently, I started taking a Machado Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Okay.
When I started doing that, completely what different from looks like a silat and other things, but actually learning Jiu-Jitsu really improved my silat in
Brilliant.
other areas.
Yeah,
Learning silat improved my Jiu-Jitsu.
yeah.
Kali, empty hand. So it's all intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
And it just that's what the beauty part about Guru Inosanto. He
Sure.
made it that way.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
It works. It's a so my focus is to understand what Guru Inosanto. It's a seamless and you just cross training method
Yeah,
to improve it. Then I want to expand it to my business area, my family, my other community,
yeah.
and what I'm doing right now, consultant work right now for
Okay.
business people,
Yeah,
and teaching Kali. And so through that, they would improve their communication skills, and eventually they increase the sales volume.
yeah,
And I enjoy that very much. And every day I start with dummy
yeah.
and also see that groundwork and it's just so many things we can do. It's a pleasure to work with my kids,
Yeah,
and yeah, they work for me now. They're good instructors right now,
cool.
and so I just want to enjoy every bit of it right now. And I want all Japanese people to know this art and know who Guru Inosanto and Rick Faye are. They're
Mhm.
they're my teachers, and then I love them so much.
Well, I think you're an amazing ambassador for them both, and the fact that you've done and accomplished so much yourself in these 40 years, and you still just pay homage to them at every opportunity. I think it's amazing. I think the 64 Dream Project's an incredible idea. I think what you're doing in terms of the rhythmic boxing and things like that is innovative and really, really cool. And obviously, your own experience in the JKD and Kali is astronomically good too. So yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Where can people
Oh, wow, thank
reach
you.
out to you if they want to know more about rhythmic boxing, or if they want to know more about the TSD Kali Gym, or even more about the 64 Dream Project? How can they get in touch and kind of follow you and see what you're doing?
Yeah. Rhythmbox is a good tool to get people, new people, non-martial artists to get interested in the real martial arts. There's an in between. There's a first and second step,
Yeah,
and everybody can do it. And I thought that was a pretty good tool, and hope it can be beneficial to you all. If you need anything, I'd be more than happy to provide anything you want.
perfect. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Takashi. That was incredible. And yeah, I hope to catch up with you soon, and maybe one day even train with you. I'll come over to Japan, and that would be
Definitely. Thank you, Don. And I look forward to seeing you, real you. And
yeah, perfect.
would
Thank you.
love to welcome to Japan, though. So please make a plan to come to Japan. We have a blast time.
I will try my best. Thank you so much, Takashi. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.